Good morning, everyone. We're just going to wait for some more folks to join and then we'll get started. Everyone, we're just going to give a couple more minutes as people join and then we'll get started. All right, well, let's begin. Good morning, everyone. I'm Abby McNulty. I'm the Executive Director of the Park City Education Foundation. And we have two Ed Foundation staff members with us today, Jennifer Billow and Mitch von Puttkammer. Thank you all for being here. Our goal today is to help you make connections, although as high school parents, you may well be on your way to that, but given this virtual environment, our goal is to make connections to PCF staff, key Park City School District staff, obviously your principal, Roger Arbabi, and as well on today's call is Superintendent Dr. Jill Gilday. I'm going to give you a little bit of information about the Ed Foundation, and then I will pass it to Anna Stampfley with Park City School District. And then we will make sure to leave 15 minutes in this 30-minute call to answer the questions you have about Park City High School. And please note today's webinar or virtual chat is being recorded. And any questions you have, you can put in the chat, which is at the bottom of your screen. So the Park City Education Foundation feels very honored and privileged to have the role we do of supporting all Park City students and teachers in Park City School District. Our goal is to help students reach their academic and lifelong potential. And we do that by funding initiatives in the Park City School District. All in, we fund over 100 programs that are categorized within different initiatives. Mitch, if you wouldn't mind advancing the screen that indicates our programs. If you're interested specifically in the programs that Park City Education Foundation funds in your school, Park City High School, or any other school, you can look at our website, PCEF4kids.org, and there's information on each site, at each school about the programs we fund. Looks like Mitch might be having some problems with our technical side of things. So eventually we'll get the slide up that lists our programs. The reason why the Education Foundation does the work we do is because Utah is the lowest funded education system in the country, and 96% of the locally collected tax dollars for education leave our community to fund other school districts. When you make a donation to the Education Foundation, 100% of your donations stay here in our community to impact our students. This year, we have had many shifts in our work, obviously, because of the COVID-19 pandemic. And one of the additional things that we've been able to do this year, beyond supporting our traditional programs, is making grants, emergency grants, accessible to our teachers to help them support emerging needs in the classroom. As well, we are funding a teacher wellness initiative. There's more information about that on our website. Teachers have access to reduced cost or free services like and mindfulness classes, yoga classes, things to help them manage the challenges of this year. And we've also launched an emergency fund for staff and Park City School District families to provide economic relief to families who have experienced undue burdens because of the COVID-19 pandemic. So we can only do this because of you, our donors to Park City Education Foundation. A special thank you to all of our Scholar Circle members who make annual leadership gifts in support of this work. So thank you very much. We do this work with you and side by side with the school district. So with that, I'd love to introduce Anna Stampfley, who is the parent, the Peace Coordinator for Park City School District, and I'll let her explain that acronym. Thank you.
Thank you, Abby, and thank you all for joining us this morning. I am the Parent Education and Community Engagement Coordinator for the Park City School District. I moved to Park City 3.5 years ago this week, and when I moved to Park City, at the time I have 4 children. At the time, they were entering 4 different levels of the school district. I had a son who was going to his junior year of high school. I had a daughter who was going into 9th grade at Treasure Mountain Junior High School. And that was different from the structure of the school district from where we were moving from in Scarsdale, New York. And then I had a daughter going into 7th grade at Ecker. And I had a 5th grade daughter entering Parley's Park Elementary School. So I learned a lot about the school district by navigating those 4 different levels of schooling here. And what we learned as a community, and what Dr. Gilday, our superintendent, and our school board recognized, was that the community needed someone at the school district level to answer our questions, to guide us through the processes and procedures, and to help us navigate the school district on behalf of our children. And that's where my position and why my position was created. So I look forward to answering your questions today, and I look forward to answering your questions in the future. My information will be up at the end of this meeting. I want to thank Park City Ed Foundation for hosting these meetings. It is important always that you as a community feel connected to our schools and our school district, and even more importantly, during this time that we're facing now. So I do appreciate that. As you submit questions, just as a reminder to the chat, which we hope you will, so that we can have this conversation, just please keep in mind that we're trying to make the answers useful and accessible to the entire audience. So if you have anything specific about anything about your children specifically, please hold those to another time. So now I would like to introduce Principal Arbabi.
Thank you very much, Anne. I'm honored to be here. My name is Roger Arbabi. This is my 3rd year here at Park City High School. We moved here from Colombia, actually from South America, Medellin, Colombia, for me to be able to take on this position. Where my family and I are excited to be a part of the Park City School District. I have a daughter that's a junior here at the school, and I have a son who's a 9th grader. So we are we are in this school district for sure. This year has been a year like no other that we've ever had. This is my 10th year in administration. And I can tell you, I never thought that I would be doing some of the things that we're doing now, such as testing for COVID or having kids put on masks. It's been a very interesting year. I want to just go over a couple of things. I want to thank Park City School District for helping us keep the students as safe as we possibly can. We've got tons of mitigation strategies that we use on a daily basis that we to help keep our students safe. Our students, especially in Park City, have been very, very good at wearing masks. And we feel that that has been our first line of defense to keeping our kiddos safe. Our kiddos do very well socially distancing as well as we possibly can within the confines of a school. And our teachers, our janitors, the sanitation level of our school has never been this high. We've hired 4 additional janitorial staff that come in every evening and decontaminate the entire school. And it's been, when we feel like these things have paid off to help keep our students safe. And also all of our air filtration systems have been upgraded with new filters, with ionizers. We have an exchange rate of about 30 minutes, so we can exchange the entire air in our building within 30 minutes. It's been really, really impressive. So those are some of the mitigation strategies that we're using. Our teachers are now working harder than they've ever worked before. None of them had anticipated that they would be working under such circumstances, obviously. And we have, our teachers are still responsible for all of the content that they're teaching. They're working with all of our students who are in class and all of our students who are remote at the same time. So a lot of our teachers, especially some of the older ones like me, are having to learn new technologies, and they have really risen to the occasion. To see some of our teachers with multiple screens in front of them, they're talking to the students that are in class, they're talking to the students that are online. It's been really interesting to walk through the classes and see those. I wanted to spend a couple of minutes just talking a little bit about Park City High School. Maybe some of you are not as familiar with some of the things that we do. Park City High School has had a rich history of high academic rigor on our campus. On our campus, we offer 28 different AP classes, which is pretty impressive. This last year, our pass rate was 77%. We had 77% of our, and we offered, let me make sure, we had about right at 1,400 tests that were given. So 77% passed that. And our average AP score was about a 3.4, which is really, really impressive. Also on our campus, we offer 20 different classes, college level courses. In addition to our AP classes, we offer 20 college level courses that are taught by our students, but it's vetted through Utah Valley University. And those students that are in these 20 classes earn college credit so that they, and that college credit is recognized at any Utah university, which is pretty impressive. Our teachers for years have really focused on high academics within our school, but we also work really hard with our first gen students, our students whose parents have never been to college. We have a program called Dream Big, where our students enroll in, these are predominantly Hispanic students that enroll in this Dream Big program, where they actually take our AP classes and our concurrent enrollment classes, those college classes that I was telling you about. And we find that these kiddos, by enrolling them in more rigorous classes, we've been able to actually increase their interest level in school. They've been working harder at school. And since our Dream Big program started 5 years ago, we've actually been able to raise our first gen ACT scores from a 14 to a 22. That is a 0.1 lower than the state average. And these are kiddos, predominantly second language learners. And so the work that our Dream Big program has done has been very, very impressive. We also have a program which is called Latinos in Action, which really works in conjunction with Dream Big so that they really teach leadership skills to some of our Hispanic students. And that program is very strong on the campus. Another program that we have, which is one of the pillars of the PCEF, is our Bright Futures program. This program starts our kiddos from the time that they're sophomores, freshmen, sophomores, and then they build on leadership strategy skills for our students. They follow them through, they help them get into college, and then they actually follow them through the 4 years of college, providing financial assistance, leadership assistance, mentorship, and that's been a highly, highly successful program on our campus also. So we actually feel like we do such a great job, not only with our disadvantaged students, but also with our high achieving students to help push the school forward. We in addition to that, we feel that on our campus, we really want to make sure that we lower the barriers to make sure that all of our disadvantaged students have access to the same type of education that other students do. And we have a new program called RISE, which is really helping our students by providing funding so that they can participate in extracurricular activities. And that's been absolutely huge. That program is just starting off, and I'm really, really excited so that any student can participate in any activity and not have to worry about financial obligations. And it's a big one. That's really fantastic. We have a really strong PTSO program. I want to thank Jennifer Aldis and Tiffany Sewell for helping us with that this year. They've been really great. They've been so supportive, and if anything we've been needing, they've been chomping at the bits to help. So I want to thank them for that. And I also want to make sure that I give a special shout out to the Park City Education Foundation with Abby, with Jen, Kara, Heidi, and Mitch. You guys, the amount of work that you guys do to help our students has been phenomenal. Anytime our teachers have had requests, you guys have come to help us out, and we really appreciate that. I want to make sure that we have plenty of time for any questions. So please feel free to ask any questions when we get there.
That's what I was actually just going to say, and thank you so much, Mr. Arbabi, for that wonderful description of the high school and what we are doing today to keep our kiddos safe. Jennifer Billow, all three of my kids were able to graduate college on time or early and take classes in college that were more interesting because they didn't have to take boring gen ed requirements by taking AP and concurrent enrollment classes at our high school. So our high school does give children the opportunity to expand their education beyond what an average high school, you would think an average high school does. I know I was touring the building to film so that we can have videos of our schools. And like I said in the beginning, I had an 11th grader, and now I had a 9th grader all the way. She's a senior now, go through, and I have a 10th grader now. I've seen the high school, but some of those programs were extremely impressive. I have a background in music and math, by the way, but I went into the music department, and the amount of instruments that the Park City Ed Foundation has availed our students of with their support is amazing. The architecture courses and the construction classes that children can take part in, absolutely amazing what our high school affords our children of. And I think that we need to really value that partnership with Ed Foundation and our teachers and our administrators who think of this and putting these courses in the curriculum for our children. I'd like to remind everybody to take this opportunity to ask us questions. Joan Meixner, as a parent of a 9th grader this year, what are 3 or so things you suggest I do to support my kid as she goes through high school to both be successful and to explore some of the great programs you have?
Listen, we have such an incredibly wide variety of activities that our students participate in. My daughter is really big into the earth and environmental issues, and so we have, so she is part of the Earth Club. I have a son who's an incredibly huge nerd, and he's in the D&D club. We have all of the sporting activities that students can participate in. We have an incredibly successful robotics team. We have a girls in tech club. So I think that at the beginning of each year, we have all of the different organizations or clubs set up in the cafeteria during lunches, and the students can go and pick. I think that we have those listed on our webpage also. So I think that it's a great opportunity for students to explore and also to join programs that they already like.
You know, Roger, just to piggyback on what you were just saying about programs, PCHS and the debate program are 2 programs that my children participate in on a regular basis. I think that the PCHS program as an integrated learning showing children how to use what they're learning in school and bring that to the real world and bring real world knowledgeable people into the classroom is so invaluable in any day, especially these days where we are communicating online and through email, and children don't often learn those techniques to communicate with people. So that's something that you should investigate for your children. And the debate program is just always amazing. My child learns so much through debate and public speaking, another invaluable service.
I want to say that the high school is such a complex entity. We have so many offerings that we have on our campus. There's a student will find exactly what they want. When trying to describe all of our, this high school in just a short amount of time is impossible, because we have so many different areas where our kiddos can be successful and find what it is that they love to do.
Yeah, 100%. And that's it. It just affords them every opportunity. Whatever your child is interested in, there will be something, right? Are there any other questions So from Ellen Rick, my 10th grader wants and needs to go to school in person. Thanks to everyone who've worked hard to help them stay in school as safely as possible.
Yeah, it is so important. And I think that Dr. Gilday and the board find it very, very important for our students to be in class. And I could not agree more. We want to keep our students safe. We want to make sure that, and we will continue to do that. As you guys know, most of you probably heard, starting on Monday, we're going to be starting the test to stay, and we're going to be testing all of our students on Monday morning, on Monday to continue to be in school. We're excited about the implementation of this program, and I want to thank Mike Tanner, our COO, for helping us get so many tests so that we can continue this program. So thanks.
And Dr. Gilday said, thank you, Eileen. The mitigation has been incredibly important. Those began last spring. Yes. Any other questions, comments? From Mitch, my senior year at Park City High School, I was able to work full-time at the recently opened Montage Deer Valley with the support of my Park City teachers and coaches at the high school. This nurtured my decision to pursue a degree in hospitality management at UNLV. Yes. Mentors early on. Our teachers are very good at that. Yes.
Roger, could you talk a little bit about some silver linings in this year?
Silver linings. Well, we have learned that some of our students can be successful online under a different platform, and so we're really looking at changing how we're teaching and really reevaluating what the function of school is. And so we've been meeting with Dr. Gilday, with some of the Park City School District staff to really redefine what does school need to look like in the future. And I think that this particular COVID pandemic has really sparked that conversation and moved it several years forward, in my opinion, because we know that we can look at school very, very differently now than we have in the past. And also, we have an instructional continuity plan now. And so in the event that we have a snow day, in the event that we have a main water line break, we know that we can continue education because all of our kids have access to a computer. All of our kids have access to the internet. And so that we can now, we can move forward without having to lose a beat. So those are a couple of things that I feel have really stood out.
Thank you. Is there an overwhelming theme that you're hearing from students this year?
I think after last March, when they were online for 3 months, from March till the end of the year, our students were really grateful to be able to get back into school. But I think that our seniors are really sad that they don't have that normal school experience. And it's hard to wear a mask all day. You don't see facial expressions. New students that have come on our campus don't have the opportunity to interact with and make friends as easily as they have in the past. And so it has been hard. It has been hard for our students, but I think that overwhelmingly our kiddos who are grateful to be able to be in school and participate. We had a football season, and we have activities that are happening, albeit with reduction in number of people coming in. But we try to keep it as normal as we can, but as safe as we can.
I mean, even in 2020, I have to say, the greatest opportunity was that new form of graduation. And when we were all fearing that you'd have to cancel graduation, the class of 2020 wouldn't even have one. And Deer Valley opened up its ski lift so that the children could enjoy that. And our field over near the high school was open for remote taking pictures. It's just, you have to think positively in a different way, is I think the new philosophy. We have a few more minutes if anyone has any other questions to ask Mr. Arbabi or me. And if not, then as I said, my information will go up at the end, and you can always reach out. And Mr. Arbabi is always available to answer anyone's questions. So if you didn't think of one during this phone call, you can definitely reach out again later in the day or anytime. Here's my information. And I'm at the district office. And as Abby said in the beginning, the mnemonic for my title is Peace at PC Schools. That is my email. And those are my phone numbers there. And I really look forward to answering any of your questions in the future. And thank you, PCEF, for hosting this. And thank you all for being here this morning. Thank you, Dr. Gilday, for joining, and for Mr. Arbabi for answering everyone's questions and describing the high school.
Thank you all.
Thank you.